Welcome everyone to Sysco Canada's virtual kitchen show. I'm Jay Ashen. I'm the Business Resources and Brand Activation Manager at Sysco Canada. And I'm pretty stoked and happy today to have our next guest on. I think she's a little nervous. She says she isn't, but we'll make her all nervous now. But welcome to our show, Dale from Sabert. Is it Sabert?
Thank you.
Sabert? Do I say it wrong?
Sabert. Sabert,
Sabert.
yes.
I want to say it's
The,
French.
it's actually a combination of our owner and founder's name, Albert Salama. He actually put the letters together to create the name Sabert.
Oh, really?
And yeah, he did. A great piece of trivia. We're still actually owned and operated by our founder. So very exciting to actually connect with the person who started the company. He's very involved, and we're very honored to have a personal relationship with our owner. And considering the size of our company, that's very unique for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been with Sabert now for about 5.5 years, and I love Sabert because I love things that work really well. I have a background in art and design, and that relates so well to food. And I have to thank my chefs here at the International Pacific Sales Kitchen. They put together all of these delightful things to feast your eyes on today. So just want to get into some of the packaging and how we can help you elevate your brand in the market, especially with things like food on demand and takeout and delivery being such an important part of your business concept now. The changes of COVID, of course, we've seen lots of struggles with having to kind of almost reinvent yourself, whether it's your menu, whether it's adopting a third-party delivery, or even starting your own takeout business that a lot of concepts haven't done before.
So Dale,
One of our Yes.
Dale, I got questions to ask. I'm
All right.
gonna jump in here once in a while. Hope that's okay. Uh, a couple things on food on demand. You mentioned this to me when we were working on the pre-shows and stuff like this. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I think it's brilliant what you're talking about. Because this fall we're anticipating takeout and delivery just to be huge. So it's so important today is a very big show for us because of that reason. But also, you talk about food on demand, and I think as we hear this on demand model more and more, Netflix is on demand, we got Amazon on demand, all these different things. Let's talk about food on demand a little bit before we get into the cool packaging you got there.
Sure. Well, I mean, it does go hand in hand because you need to have the right packaging to deliver your brand to your consumer. And often we hear complaints in the industry that if a customer receives something and it's sloppy inside of the container or things have shifted in transportation, that it can really jeopardize your brand integrity. And often people will not reorder. I'm sure we've all experienced this where we've grabbed takeout, we've thrown it in the seat beside us, and we've gone to get out of our vehicle, and we've got sloppy messes in the bottom of a bag, and it might have leaked all over the seat. And back in the day, we used to dry clean all over our clothes. Those are things we want to avoid. And another thing we really want to avoid is not having the right size package for your meal. So value perception is huge in our market. You want your consumer to feel like they're having the same experience that they had if they dined in with you. So, finding a small package that fits your meal doesn't necessarily make the consumer feel like they got the same value if they dined in. You don't want to have something with a small opening and maybe tall if you want them to feel like they've gotten the portion they would have in-house. Just to give you an idea, something like chicken wings. Having a large opening like this, which is 6x9, seeing them spread out, you feel like if you went someplace and you got a basket of wings, that you were going to get that same feeling when you're dining at home.
And that's important. We really want to make sure that there's a couple things with the takeout area, right? I've been in the industry for a while, and I think takeout has really evolved in the last many years, but really evolved obviously through COVID. But it's an area where I think when we go into this new fall season, that we need to create experiences in our takeout area. And I think the packaging is so important, Dale, in this area of creating an experience. Just like you said, when you open that box there for the chicken wings, you're creating as much as it's small, but there's an experience thing there that the packaging is going to deliver. It's so important.
Absolutely. And you want to get your customers to come and have those repeat guest experiences with you. You know, I myself, I travel a lot, or I used to travel a lot for my job. And I used to have a favorite salad that I used to get. And I say used to get because I haven't gone for a long time because it was in something that didn't have a secure lock. It was an expensive, you know, topped with steak and goat cheese, you know, really great high-end ingredients. And when I got back into my hotel room, it was in the bottom of my t-shirt bag, which, you
Hmm.
know, that's really disappointing when you pay a great deal of money and you're looking forward to enjoying something and you're eating out of a bag and not out of the container. And that's another thing, you know, looking at containers, something like this is our new folding carton. It's pulp, it's compostable, it's certified recyclable also. But when the consumer gets this home, they can easily tear off these perforated flaps and they can use
Oh,
this as a serving tray in,
can
in
that be
home dining.
microwave deal?
It can be microwaved and it can also go in the oven up to 400 degrees for 30 minutes.
No way.
So if you something like fish and chips, you can put that back in the oven and crisp things up when they arrive. So
So
it's
that's
fantastic.
perforated, so you can that rips it off. So even when you rip those off, it doesn't look it has a very nice appearance, right?
Exactly. You can actually use this to serve in, or even just not to have those flaps. If you
Yeah.
were, say, this on your lap, you were on the go, you don't have to worry about those flaps interfering with your clothing and getting hot sauce or anything else on you.
So Dale, I
And
also
we,
want to mention before we continue that we can see your comments. So anyone that's for all of our people that are listening and watching today's shows, send us comments and stuff like that. Dale is like a world of knowledge in this area. So please send us comments or questions and we'll answer as best we can. So sorry, Dale,
yeah.
because I've got a ton and I'm excited about this.
But I
I
just
know
want
packaging
to
maybe. I don't know, but I'm very
also
excited
talk
about
about
it.
house and operationally when you're choosing your packaging. You know, you really have to consider what you have space wise under the counter where you're prepping and plating and things like that. One of my personal favorites for showing a sustainable option to an operator is our 6x9 rectangles. This is a fantastic option because we go everything from a 20-ounce container right up to a 54-ounce. We
Mm.
have 3 different interchangeable lids for this whole collection. So pulp, if you're wanting to have a 100% compostable option. We have a clear PET lid that can go onto for salads or cold applications. And then we also have our dome vented polypropylene lid. And this is for hot applications. But the great thing about this whole collection is you can choose one or maybe both lids and 1 or 2 different containers so that everything is interchangeable without having too many packaging solutions in your operation. And one thing I
Mhm.
want to show you too about our lid fit is we actually have extra teeth that go around the side and lock in place. So even if this did spill over in transport, the lid doesn't come off. It's a fantastic way to start a packaging program. We even do a 2-compartment. We have our taco insert, or this one here, the insert is actually part of the base. It's built right in. So great menu solutions for back of house where you're tight on space, but still need a variety of containers that are going to fit all of your menu needs.
Mm. Oh, we
And then
we
our
asked for comments, and sure enough, oh, it happens to be Dale's birthday today.
thank
Happy
you,
birthday, Dale.
thank you.
And
One of
that's
my
correct.
favorite.
People have questions about containers too.
Yeah, exactly, right? What else would I do? I'm passionate about what I do.
That's awesome.
Here's another great option here where you're actually able to separate both of your starch and your sauce so that it doesn't absorb. You can reheat this again in the microwave or put this in the oven. Again, this is our folding carton. It comes in 4 different configurations. And the nice thing about this is it does have the locking tabs. And these are fantastic for stackability.
So
This one
Dale,
here,
is that a little clip on the side there that locks those down?
yeah, so there's a little
Yeah.
slit in the top and bottom, and also the finger lock in between. So it just folds down and into
Dale, we have a
place.
question here. How long does it take for the containers to break down in landfill? Do you know?
For compostability, you're looking at 90 to 120 days.
That's it?
Yep, and these are certified backyard compostable also.
Oh, wow.
But the one thing I do
Thanks,
want to
Rhonda.
show you is a lot of people worry about going into a sustainable package that it's going to have leaks or drips or spills.
Mhm.
Yesterday afternoon at about lunchtime, we put marinara sauce in this container and we kept it in the fridge all night. Now this is pulp container. I can turn it on
Quit
its side.
tipping it. Quit tipping it. You're freaking me out.
There is no condensation in there. There's no leaking, no color on the outside. It does soften a little bit because pulp will absorb condensation in a refrigerator, but the marinara has not actually penetrated the pulp inside either.
So is there any coating or anything inside there that prevents that, or is it just?
No, it is, there's an additive that goes in, water and sugarcane fiber is what this is made. So all natural ingredients have gone into this. The other unique thing too is that because we use sugarcane fiber and not corn, it's not tied to feedstock. So we're not taking anything away from the environment. It's annually renewable. We're not having to fertilize and do a lot of the things that we were doing with corn and affecting waterways and things like that. And we're actually building, we have already built and we are opening our pulp plant in North America right now in Greenwood, Texas. So we're actually manufacturing on North American soil, reducing our carbon footprint to market.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. Really cool, Dale.
Here's another great example of something, a poke bowl. This is our clear dome lid. You can hear that audible snap as I put the lid on. You notice that the ingredients aren't shifting. So that's another thing. When things are going to market, you want to make sure that things stay in place. And that presentation that you've done is what the customer receives.
That's really cool. So is there dividers in there? Dale, is there dividers in there?
Nope, that's just because the chefs here have actually packed the product well so that it matches the lid height on this container.
That's awesome.
Great presentation. It's a 24-ounce bowl. You'll see that it's shallow, but certainly for a poke bowl, that's an amazing presentation when it arrives at the consumer.
Well, also for retail as well, right? You know, we have a lot of restaurants that are introducing retail now, and it's awesome to have visual when you see the ingredients like that. It sells itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Meal replacement programs are seeing a lot of that, you know, where you're doing a click and click application, where you're going in and you're picking up your menu for a couple of days. These are great. Or even if it is something that you're bringing home raw that you're going to cook, we're seeing applications like that where some of our restaurants are actually taking their great ingredients that they normally would cook with in-house, packaging them up so that you can still experience it as fresh as if you were dining in.
So Dale, we have a question here. How does the lid lock in place?
So with our lid lock, we actually have an extra set of teeth that go around and they capture the underside of the container. So we have a bit of a rolled edge here, and then there's a little tiny lip. And that's why we get such a great lid fit that stays in place in transport.
Yeah, and I think if everyone can just notice how easy that was to put that lid on, because I've had it before where you're dancing with that lid for a few minutes before it locks into place, and it is.
I would
it is
those ones where you're like both fingers and you're up in the back corner.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
And I do have to say, Jay, we do have containers that are like that, like our soup containers. We do actually have containers where you need to match up the tabs and you need to start, say, at the back and do a pinch and a pinch but unfortunately, you as the consumer might not know that. We know the tricks.
Well, but yeah, but we never went to school for takeout containers, Dale. Like it's
Right?
not something at chef school that you take or people bring up, right? So it's great that you're teaching us this stuff.
Another great thing to increase repeat sales is making sure that you're including cutlery and napkins or plates. Asking things like that. I'm seeing on a lot of the apps that they actually have an area where you can say, you know, I do need plates, I do need cutlery, I need napkins, those types of things. You know, these are great add-ons. We'll talk about them a little bit more with some of our larger catering items. But including these is extra perceived value for the consumer, and also they can enjoy. I know I've been on the road before and pretty much forced to eat with my fingers. It's a true story, but when you're living in a hotel, most of the time, it's pretty frequent that you don't receive any cutlery in your takeout.
You know what, Dale? I've done a little traveling myself across the country, doing shows, and I have to agree with you.
Exactly.
Your experience shifts when you don't get those things that you need when you're in a hotel room, and
Right.
you're having to make another phone call, or you're trying to figure out how you're going to eat that stuff with your fingers. Yeah, I've been there.
I actually recently used the lid off of my container
Yeah.
as a spoon.
Exactly. So I'm going to throw out to our listeners and people that are watching today's show, what are some of the crazy things or cool things that you've seen? Share with us in your takeout that you've obviously, I think everyone probably has had takeout lately. Share with us some of the things that you've seen. So, and then we'll ask Dale if she's seen those as well. So comment, send it on the comment area. And we'd love to hear what you think and what you've seen in takeout lately. That's
Well, and
cool.
that's a really good point, Jay, because now with social media, we do have to be very careful of protecting our brand. And that's why having the right packaging is really important. Because if a consumer has a bad experience, they're not going to phone you. They're going to take a picture and it's going to go on Instagram, it's going to go on Facebook, it's going to get
Yeah.
tweeted out. And, you know, we don't want social media to be a negative vehicle for your brand. You know, you want that to be a positive experience. So it's not just, you know, what is happening dine in
Mhm.
when it leaves the building, especially if you're using a third party delivery service, you're still the one who is responsible at the end of the day. So, you know, if you really have no control over, say, your own trained employees on how to delicately handle something once it leaves your facility. So being very careful to make sure you have the right fit of packaging so those things are minimized in transport for sure. I love this innovation. So Sabert's always been known for innovation. This is our large rectangle container. This is one of our newest items that we've come out with. And this is another great opportunity for an operator who wants to have a couple of different footprints for their operation, but doesn't want to invest in lots of different packaging. So this large rectangle like this would be great for doing, say, a burger and fries or doing a pasta dish. But say they had something like the butter chicken that we showed earlier. We have these inserts that snap in. So that turns it into a 2-compartment container, or you can do a 3-compartment container. There's also another notch here so that you could do it equally divided. So say you had 2 different menu items that you wanted to not have migration of sauces, you have that option with this. And then our polypropylene lid, fully recyclable. And here, like we said, you'll see the 2 tabs match up in these corners. We've got nice finger grip spots there. We're gonna, of course, that one's gonna work really well for me right now. So just touching on those 2 corners, I've got a full seal. And you'll see here, we've got a complete bar lock all the way around here, which doesn't allow liquids to seep out, vented. So if you do have fried foods in there, it's allowing some of that steam and condensation to dissipate. Our lids, they do fantastic. Once they're heated up, there's a clarifying agent in this. So once your food is in here and warm, you'll actually have clear visibility.
No way.
Pardon?
So that's really cool because I see that a lot, right?
Yeah. And this is going to help with order accuracy also. So when you're putting the orders in a bag and you've got lots of meals. Another one is our 3 compartment. So this one, you don't have the inserts. However, this is already done. And we've seen this done even in supermarket meals. So a raw protein that's say vacuum packed with noodles and veg and then a sauce on the side. So
yeah, that's great. Can you look? Let me see that one, that last one, because that's a really, I have to say, it's a good looking package of package container. It's really nice. Like that's like, I want operators to understand the difference of what a very inexpensive container does to your food and what it does when you spend a little bit more on it, and the value more that you can get from that meal has got to quadruple. Like it's got to increase your profit immensely on a little bit more that you spend on that. Because I think a lot of us, we tend to try to figure out what's the cheapest packaging we can get, because it is expensive in a way. It is additional cost. But man, can that, like a container like that, increase the value of what you're offering?
Absolutely. And you should be anywhere from about 6 to 10% on your packaging. You know,
that's good.
Duration when you're choosing something. I know, you know, we always tend to go, okay, well, we want to increase our revenue, our bottom line, and look at the cheapest possible thing. But you know, I tell operators quite often, have you ever tried to do takeout from your own establishment? And how is that coming? How is it looking for you?
Yeah, and that, you know, that's a great thing. You know, I'm so glad you said that. See, Dale, this is a great show today on this subject, because it's back in the day when we used to train servers to sit in your section, right? Exactly. And look at what your customers see. And I don't know if a lot of people have taken takeout from their own place, but what a great idea just to see how it comes. And I have to admit, I have seen some pretty incredible takeout through COVID, what I've been getting. And I just, you know, the people are trying really hard. But I've also seen some pretty crazy stuff come through lately. But yeah, it's great. It's a huge difference when you get that container. And like I said, we're trying to create takeout experiences for your restaurant, especially for this fall.
I want to talk about a really great looking package. So our chefs put this together yesterday, and this is totally different. So this would be basically what you would think of as a supermarket rib container. But talk about great presentation and talk about value.
That's awesome.
How fantastic does that look in this oblong tray? And this tray is actually ovenable. So it's crystallized PET. It's 100% recyclable. It's the most recycled plastic material on the market. And you know that you've got your veg, your 2 proteins on here. So just think in-house, you're probably charging about $40 for this. And you know, you're maybe looking at about 65 cents base and lid. That's a very small portion of what your overall revenue is. Vented again, lid, stackable, so multiple meals can go out in this. And I thought this was absolutely a brilliant presentation when I came in and saw this done yesterday.
That's beautiful. There's so much you can do with that, right? And have a lot of, there's so many things. And it also breaks up that square box everyone's using.
And we are seeing a lot of these style of plate dishes when we're going in to dine in, you know, and think outside of the box. I mean, it might be an expensive container, but if you think of the ROI on this, if say you did a flatbread with a couple of really great ingredients on here, you know, we see those things on appetizer menus. That's going to transport really well in here. And then you can put the instructions in here that the consumer can pop the lid off of this particular container and put it back in the oven. So it'll crisp back up, so it'll caramelize the cheeses and things like that. It's a fantastic way to plate something and give great value.
That's incredible, Dale. So Dale, there's a couple of questions come through. And this is a great one, Melissa. Melissa's got a great question here, because I have to admit, I'm thinking the same way. Because some of these containers that we're getting in takeout, especially these products here you show, can you reuse them again at home? if you wash them and
Absolutely. I tell you, you know, I don't have a single piece of, and I don't mean to sound rude, but I don't have any Tupperware in my cupboards anymore.
yeah,
You know, these takeout containers like the one you just saw, they're dishwasher safe, they're freezer safe. I bake a lot, so a lot of my cookies and stuff go in my deep freeze in those containers. I love them because they're stackable. Just like this set here, we've got our polypropylene hinged, and these actually lock together in transport. And a lot of containers are like that. Bases and lids are meant to be stacked. So imagine if you've made a couple of meals that say you want to take to somebody who's not well or maybe being quarantined at the moment. You could take some of your takeout containers and make meals, and they can microwave those at home.
really
So
cool.
we've done a really great application here, and this is our craft collection bag. This is actually a tamper-resistant bag. We have adhesive strips here so that the bag can seal shut, so that a third-party delivery person couldn't get in here. However, it does leave the sides open and allows steam to escape. But what we wanted to show you here was doing several different items, but using the same container and showing the versatility. If you don't have a lot of space, you can easily do your menu around a single container. So these are all our 8x8 in different configurations. So here we have a pasta dish, and you'll notice that was on the bottom. Very heavy, very saucy, lots of weight to this dish. I bet you if we weighed it, it probably weighs 4 or 5 pounds. But that's great. And I think, you know, this might even be something that's a shareable size meal. So we have our pasta dish here. If a consumer wanted to eat this, also we have the tearaway perforated lids here. So if you're eating this on your lap, this can go underneath, or this can sit beside you and be a great tray for your cutlery and your condiments and things like that, so that they're not touching a surface or anything else. We've done the same container here with burger and fries. So you can see here, another great menu application. This one here, we've taken a cold leafy salad, dressed it with a beautiful piece of salmon, some avocado.
Oh, it's awesome, Dale. So Dale, can you freeze these containers and they won't crack or anything?
Correct. Blast freezing, you may have some fragility to them, but if you're just putting them, say, in your home freezer, you won't have any problem at all.
That's pretty cool.
And this was a great idea. So this is a sticky toffee pudding. This is something that you would serve warm. So this allows the customer now to put this in the microwave, heat it up. And there again, they can even serve from this. Take that lid off, put this in the center of the table, have a couple of forks, put some ice cream on it, and away they can go.
Really
so it just
cool.
goes to versatility if you can find one container that's going to fit a lot of your applications. I usually try and get an operator to maybe have no more than about 6 pieces of packaging for their whole takeout program.
Awesome.
And if you can't
Very
fit,
cool.
you might want to pare down your takeout menu.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we've been talking about that a lot, Dale. You're right. Is the smaller takeout menus are really big. We've heard the word menu fatigue many times, and it is something that we want to make sure our operators are having a little more flexibility with these smaller menus and being able to change things up and try different things out there.
And unlike
Very
the
important.
container, even though I've taken this lid off, this one just snaps back in place. All 4 of these are stacked. You can see there's no compression of the items. And I've done it in reverse, the heaviest one on top. I'm able to now transport that and hand it over to my delivery driver.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
It's
And
awesome.
those are available in Sysco brand too. Our craft collection, which is our newest acquisition, we bought LBP Manufacturing in Chicago back in December. And this is bringing a whole new breath to that good, better, best in our lineup. Sabert was always known as being kind of the Cadillac of packaging, very, clean lines, no ribbing in our containers. And we didn't really have a lot in our portfolio that was kind of more entry level. I love this lunch box. You could actually pack bricks in this box. So you can see how much we have in here. We've got a Snapple, we've got an apple, an orange, a big sandwich. And this box is still probably heavy enough that you could put a hammer and some nails in the bottom of it.
Cool.
So fantastic option. Not everything is of this level, but we do a lot in corrugate and paperboard now that you can customize. So depending on what your ingredients are, we can offer all sorts of flexibility in that program. Another thing that we do is our corrugate clamshells. So this is a white corrugate, but fantastic again. So if you're not wanting to go into something quite as substantial as a resin product, doing things like sandwiches in here, this actually has a grease resistance built into the corrugate. When you close this, it's got some locking tabs here. And using corrugate is good because this also allows your food to breathe. So you're not going to have condensation built up. We've done a couple of different applications here too, because we talked about this not having food shift. So this is a great appetizer idea. We've done some pot stickers that were deep fried. You'll notice that there's really no greasy residue on here. Nothing is going to shift and transport. The presentation is fantastic in this container.
Really cool.
Yeah. And then we've just done a small breakfast sandwich here because breakfast on the go is a big part of menu development now. So this is a waffle that is pre-cut, done with a nice egg scramble with some proteins on it and avocado, and there again to grab and go. And I've had a lot of people asking about grab and go programs for hotels because they're not having the dine in. So this is a great application for one of those types of on-the-run meals that we're experiencing right now. And then, because we are still having some group gatherings.
Yes.
Whether it be family or in the office, this is our new catering box.
That's pretty cool.
Now, fantastic because all these pieces lock together. These nice little tabs hold your drawers in place for transport so you don't have to worry about spills. And then we have in here our half pan cater pan, which is filled to the brim with all sorts of prairie goodness here. So
wow.
Kielbasa, our cabbage, I know that'll get your excitement going. Really important. Cool. Like this now is things like our snap and serve tongs. So again, talking about that added value, these come 72 to a pack. They're flat packed. They're polypropylene, so they can be recycled after they've no longer in use. They just snap together, go in here, and they're a great little serving tong for the application. And if you're not that savory person, we've got a fantastic dessert option for breakfast too. There again, adding those snap and serve tongs. We also have things like serving utensils that are individually wrapped down. So if you are doing catering orders, very important to have that, less point of contact. Things like cutlery kits are invaluable. Napkin, salt, pepper, your fork, knife, spoon. All of these things are really going to help you with getting those repeat sales in the market.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool about that too, Dale, is that there's these might be also options for some of these holidays and different things that are coming up. We got Thanksgiving coming up. What a great option to be able to use something like that for Thanksgiving if you're having a family feast or something at home. Also for our operators that want to build those kind of things for the fall and for the winter.
And that's great because we've actually been working with a couple of different people here locally in British Columbia doing holiday meals. So using some of these larger trays, filling them with turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, stuffing, and selling full meals that are done in these catering applications. We've actually got an example here with all the different pieces of packaging that one of our local hotels is doing. So you can see there's quite a few pieces in here.
Great.
And they're using, again, that 68-ounce container. So this will be proteins and veg, and then all of your sauces going into a 16-ounce. And we've got room for 4 of the smaller containers and 4 of the large containers. The corrugate itself gives you great branding opportunity. So without having to invest in custom printing and plates, you have an opportunity here to get labels put on, to put your own artwork on top of this box, and even change it up. So labels are a lot less expensive than, say, doing custom embossing or plate charges through a manufacturer. But to have your branding on any of these surfaces is fantastic. You get to do that advertising piece for sure. And then we wanted to also talk a little bit to our craft collection and our beverage line. So we have a number of different coffee sleeves. The unique thing about our sleeves is we actually have a small blue dot inside that is heat activated. So when you put these sleeves onto your coffee cup, they will actually stay on your coffee cup and not in your drink holder.
That's very cool.
And a number of different ones. So again, you can do white, there's craft, we've got our eco that is less corrugate involved. There's all sorts of opportunities with our beverage on the move. And lastly, I wanted to show you our beverage on the move pop and fill container. Operators are struggling, of course, with the loss of liquor sales. And I know a lot of those regulations have been reduced. This comes flat packed in a box, and this allows you to open it up and put the container together and fill it with non-carbonated beverages. Now, one of the unique things about our pop and fill containers is they actually will keep things hot and cold for about 3 to 4 hours. It has a convenient carry handle, and when you open our pop and fill, the bag actually inflates. So a lot of our competitors, that bag doesn't inflate, and therefore you're having to stick your finger in or a knife in to get air into that bag so that you can fill it. But we've had operators that have done these as margarita kits.
Really?
All those types of things. It holds 96 ounces, and we have everything up to a 3-gallon available in a pop and fill go.
Really cool, though.
Yeah, it's great. And also great for things like gravies and sauces. So if you're having that big Thanksgiving dinner, we always know there's that one person that needs at least a gallon of gravy.
I was gonna say, it's there's some places in Canada that that'd be great for a gravy jar.
Right? Just one of those.
You know who you are, right? Across Canada, you need a gravy jar that size. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I have a son-in-law who gets an entire casserole dish of stuffing to himself at the holidays. So
that's awesome.
There's one in every family.
That is awesome. Well, Dale, you know what? These have been just wicked ideas, comments, very, very educational. So thank you so much. All these ideas, it's so important that we really start thinking about this fall and what we're going to be doing in our takeout and our delivery business, because it is an area that we need to evaluate, look at the options. We all kind of just shifted too when COVID hit to takeout, and we really didn't take a little bit of time to think about it, other than we had to rush into it. And people did a really good job, but what a great opportunity now to step back, look at it, see what containers is going to make that value pop out on your products, give that customer something a little bit different. Just brilliant. Awesome ideas, Dale.
Yeah, and we have a sales team across Canada, literally coast to coast, that can help you with some of these solutions. And that's just it. We are here. All of us vendors are here to help operators be successful. And just feel free to call on us for sure.
Awesome. Well, we got great feedback here, Dale. So thanks again. And to everyone else, you know what? We got another show today. 4 shows this week on our virtual kitchen show. So this afternoon, we have some great takeout ideas and everything from our Affinity Group. We're going to show some classics, chefs preparing some amazing ideas this afternoon. So join us. We also got shows tomorrow. We got shows on Thursday. So check them all out. We're live every week at 11 a.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Eastern time every day. So great stuff, Dale. Thanks again for being on our show today. All the hard work. Show's awesome. Great stuff. And lots of amazing feedback. And also happy birthday. Have a great birthday today. I expect to see a gravy jar that big on everyone's table this Thanksgiving. But thanks again. And everyone else, continue watching us. Go out there and eat. Go out and eat in a restaurant today. Go and support our restaurant.
On your show.
You bet. Take care.
Thanks, Jay.